Hey, I'm Matt from Rogue Tactics, and I'm here to talk about the best basic action card in all of Dice Masters, Polymorph. Now, Polymorph reads, swap a fielded character with a non-NPC character from that player's use pile. Spin the character to level 1. This does not trigger one fielded effects. And then it's got a global, pay a mask, spin one of your characters down one level to spin another character up one level. Now, typically, when you're playing a game, you roll some dice and you buy stuff and it goes to your use pile. And then, you roll some more dice, you buy more stuff, it goes to your use pile. And then you gotta wait till your bag is empty, put all that back in your bag, give it a good shake, hope you draw it, and then roll it and hope you have energy to field it. Now, Polymorph gets around all that. All you need is the action dice, and whatever you buy, which goes to the field zone, can then be swapped in at level 1. And it doesn't have to go to your bag first. It doesn't have to be placing your use pile, put in your bag, and then wait to be drawn and rolled. It's like straight away, right away, it's there. Now, I know you're like, well, that's level 1, and, I see that as a drawback, but it's a huge advantage for certain kinds of things, like people like Jinzo, whose effect, you just want that on the field. You don't care what level it's on. People like, the Aquaman that reduces the costs of Justice League characters. People like the Paladin, who makes all your characters untargetable by your opponent's globals, or can't use globals to target them, and you just want them in the field. It doesn't matter what level they're on. You're like, Polymorph is perfect for that. It's also great for characters where they have a burst that's just sick, like on their lowest level. Like, if I can spin it right, we're getting there. There we go. Like level 1 Green Goliath. He's got that burst faced. Or level 1 Beast has got a burst faced, where it gets a bonus from being level 1. So you're like, oh dude, Polymorph is sick. I like that. I like guaranteed getting the best face possible thanks to Polymorph. Now, one thing I noticed, that if you're running 2 Polymorphs, you can basically make sure that you can pretty much field anything you want from your used pile and have no characters in your used pile at all. Now, why is that important? Is because a lot of people forget the other side of Polymorph, because Polymorph does not specify which characters it can be used on. It just says swap a character in the field with a non-NPC character or non-sidekick character in that player's used pile. So you can use it as removal. So your opponent's got something gross that you can't get rid of, like the Hulk on level 1, and he happens to carelessly buy something dumb, then you can use your Polymorph to swap their Hulk for their human paladin. And then all of a sudden that gross thing is not on the table anymore, and you have more options to, than what you didn't have before. And like I said, with the double Polymorph, you can basically keep whatever you want out of your use pile, so you can keep whatever you want on your table, and you don't have to worry about your opponent using Polymorph against you. Another thing that you can do with Polymorph, which I'm super embarrassed to say that I didn't even think about until last week, so this is fresh on my mind, and I'm pretty darn stoked. As the active player, you can use actions during your main step or during your attack step. And I can't believe this, just totally escaped me until now. So basically, if you got something sick and disgusting in your use pile, like you just bought it, and you have 2 pawns, you can attack with 2 pawns. Now your opponent, if they have 1 defender, granted this only works if you have more attackers than they have defenders, they can block a pawn, knowing full well that whatever one they don't block, you can polymorph in the dragon. and do some neat damage. Or if you want to KO something gross, you know, you can polymorph the dragon to the one that was blocked, knock out their stupid thing, and then your dragon bounces back, assuming they can't KO it. So it's a lot of potential right there. And that's not even counting its global. Like, there is so much stuff you can do with your global. Now, I'm typically fielding stuff with polymorph for most of my polymorph from my use pile, so most of my stuff is level 1. But every once in a while, something will get knocked out, and I'll roll it, and then it'll field it at like level 2 or level 3 and stuff like that. Well, you know, pay a mask or roll it, spin your dude up, and you're like, okay, cool. So my 5/5 dragon is now a 7/7 dragon, and that is a huge difference in terms of, you know, potential damage outcome. Especially if I didn't plan on attacking with this guy. If I didn't plan on attacking him, it doesn't matter that I'm losing attack potential from him. And then it gets even better. Because, you know, say your opponent has got a level 2 Hulk on the field. And he's got that burst face on him. Well, you know, you pay a mask, and you can spin down your dude, because you just got to spin down one of your characters, and you can spin up any character. So all of a sudden, their Hulk is an 8/8 Hulk without the burst face. They are only doing 2 damage to all your opponents, to all your characters, because you just made their Hulk suckier. So if you have something with like an annoying burst face, like all the ones that I had listed before as awesome burst face, you can spin them up out of your opponent's use. So all in all, Polymorph is hands down the most useful basic action card. I use it in almost every deck because, you know, it's bag manipulation, it's removal, it's level manipulation, you know, it's blocker manipulation. It's pretty much everything you need right then, right now. I highly recommend you start playing with it. I highly recommend you start practicing with it, just because even if you're not going to be using it, your opponent's going to be using it, and you definitely need to be prepared for it. And now, I suppose you're probably wondering, like, how do you stop polymorph? Like, I guess the best thing you could kind of do is if you see somebody bringing polymorph, is to buy their polymorphs from them. I personally love to have 2 polymorphs circling through my system. But if I'm down to 1, it's manageable, but I'm going to be grumpy about it. I'm definitely going to be angry about it, and I'll probably be on tilt, and that'll give you a significant advantage against me. Another thing you can do is, if you see somebody with polymorphs, start knocking out their pawns. It won't shut it down completely, because your opponent can always roll pawns on the turn they roll their polymorph. But if you see them just hanging out with pawns, just ding them. Frequently, they'll bring the globals to get rid of them. Like, I'm currently running Magic Missile. Pay a bolt, do 1 damage to a character. So yeah, that's one of the options you can do. You know, Jinzo to stop them from making actions. And we haven't tested it completely, but we had a semi-decent amount of luck with target changing. I guess if you were running Ring of Magnetism and the common Wonder Girl, you could change the target, because they'll have to target your character, and then you can you can swap out your Concentric Sandmark for something gosh. Yeah, you could do maybe some manipulation that way. That might work. Not 100% on that. But yeah, still, even with these flaws, Polymorph is the best basic action. You should totally get it. Really, you should buy the D&D starter just for the action cards, because they're fantastic. But definitely for Polymorph. This has been Matt with Heroic Tactics, and I hope this is giving you some stuff to think about.